Welcome to the show, everybody. Glad you could be here. Hit the like, share the show. It's House Parks Megaworldwide. Subscribe, will you? It's not that, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, it's one of the simplest ways you can, come on, all right. And then tonight, for our Patreon folks and our members on the YouTube channel, we are now live streaming there as well. A free stand-up show tonight. And that will be at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, approximately, because it depends on when I go on. The lovely and talented George Wallace will be making a visit and doing a set, which is fantastic. Mr. Vegas himself. And I believe Charlene is going to be hosting if all goes well. And so I'm very excited about tonight. It's going to be a good show. And then I get to get in my car and completely exhausted after a day full of shows, drive back to Las Vegas and do radio at Ass in the Morning tomorrow. My screen is messed up. Why is my screen messed up? I don't think my screen is messed up. I think my screen is okay. Is it all wonky? Is it cattywampus? Let's see if when the chat pulls in, see if I pull it. Oh, the sound is coming in this guy too. That's funny. Stop it. There we go. We need. Yeah, thank you. I got to turn that way down. Hello. Screen's fine. All right. Charlene will be joining. Excellent. What more could you want, really, from a comedy show? It's just going to be full of so much joy and fun. We have a lot to cover. I'm going to get straight into it. Hit the like, share the show, share clips, comment on the clips, whatever you can do that's free, do that. And then if you want to help the show through various other ways, you certainly can. Super chats being the obvious. If you're on Facebook, stars. If you're on Twitch, it's bits, as it were. And or you can just show up at a show and go, hey, here's $10, kid. Yeah, I like your moxie. Act like I'm just busking on a street corner in San Francisco. Anyway, gang, let's jump in. Let me make sure this even works. Let's see if they're on the right thing. How dumb? Ladies and gentlemen, this dumb. This is genius. I don't know if we can count on... I don't even know. Okay, this is Trump's real Iran ceasefire plan, and it's actually very simple in deference to, I guess, Glenn Beck and his viewers. Checking this out first, hit the like, buckle up.
Let me start with what's happening in the Middle East. We are told now by some podcasters, incredibly so, that Trump's ceasefire just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's not technically a ceasefire, I don't think. Hold on, I got music playing in the background, just kind of grooving.
Okay.
That's why. I see. Because every time I hit media, it plays it.
Ceasefire has been expanded for another 2 weeks. And I'm trying to understand because at first...
No, the ceasefire that's been expanded for another 2 weeks is the Lebanon-Israel one. Lebanon and Israel are not at war. It's Hezbollah, you dumb motherfucker. In theory, anyways, Israel is striking Hezbollah sites in Lebanon. They are not at war with the government of Lebanon. And Hezbollah has control of Lebanese territory that the Lebanese government does not. That's what got extended. Did I mishear that? Hold on. Back up. 1 second. I have to...
Incredibly so, that Trump's ceasefire just doesn't make sense. Okay, his ceasefire has been expanded for another 2 weeks. And I'm trying to understand because at first people were saying... You know, he's going to get us all killed. He's going to start World War III. He just wants war. We're going to send all of these soldiers in. First, you say no troops and stop the killing. And so he doesn't send in troops. And he says a ceasefire on all the killing. And now you say, what are we doing? You got to, I guess, start the killing again?
No, I think the idea is get the fuck out if you're not going to do this. We just don't trust him to actually stop. Secondly, the extended ceasefire, again, is with Israel and Lebanon. On their stuff, not on the Iranian-U.S. ceasefire, which, by the way, we are firing on civilian ships that have come from Iran. Iran is firing on civilian ships that are not linked to them. It's just piracy on the high seas from both sides. We're just not strafe bombing the fucking country right now.
It's almost as if people are hoping for the killing and
No, it's almost as if we don't believe Trump is negotiating in good faith or expecting a negotiation, and he's just reloading for something even more terrible. We just sent another strike group in.
For destruction. What's his name? The wife of... she asked about Jim Acosta's girlfriend. Sorry, not wife, girlfriend. Jim Acosta's girlfriend was in the White House yesterday, and she asked one of the dumbest questions ever of the president. Listen to this.
Would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social a few weeks ago.
We don't need it. Why do I need it?
Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them?
Because you were talking about annihilating the entire civilization, and in a country of 90 million people, that's what it would take?
Without it. No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
Okay. The guy is terrified of nuclear weapons.
No, he isn't. Yeah, I mean, and the reason she asked is not out of the blue. Word on the street is that Dan Kane talked him out of using a tactical nuke on the places the B-2s had already hit, because if we can't go in to get the nuclear material, we could make the area around there, so toxic nobody could go near it for 10,000 years. That's the thinking. So it's not out of the blue.
Understands how bad nuclear weapons are. He doesn't want nuclear weapons. I mean, it is so very clear.
Okay, so why doesn't he have Israel get rid of theirs? I'm sure Iran would be much more accepting of the idea of not having any themselves if Israel didn't have 20. Just a thought.
Why would you ask that? For the controversy?
No, not for the controversy. Because he said he was going to wipe out the whole fucking civilization, dipshit. How do you do that? What do you think? We're going to do it all with bunker busters? Are we going to shoot everyone in the country with a depleted uranium bullet?
I mean, this is the strategy the president is using. We have told you from the...
Excuse me. Assumes facts not in evidence. I have seen no indication of a strategy. Seen a lot of tactics. Zero strategy.
Very beginning. This is sanctions with teeth.
That's what it is. Yeah, sanctions with teeth means threatening to bomb all their electrical grid and their bridges, and going ahead and bombing some of their bridges and destroying all of their navy, even if it's not actively fighting, in theory.
Everyone said we should do sanctions, more sanctions, right? That's what everybody has said. We got to do more sanctions. Well, sanctions don't work unless they're on steroids and they are a wild animal. You negotiate.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck that even means. What he means is walk softly and carry a big stick. Doesn't last very long until you hit you got to hit somebody occasionally, even if they don't have it coming.
But you make sure it's real and you stay out of nation building and regime change.
Too late.
President Trump also extended the Israel...
Also, motherfucker, first of all, it's not nation building. It's nation rebuilding. That's what we did in Iraq. That's what we were doing in Afghanistan. We weren't starting from scratch. There was some parties that wanted some level of just normalcy and democracy. We might have backed them, but we didn't create that out of whole cloth because it never works anyways. But we end up rebuilding the shit we blow up. It's nation rebuilding.
Lebanon ceasefire for another 3 weeks. He also has 3 carriers in the region. He's ordered the Navy to shoot and kill any Iranian boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. He's made it clear. Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, he wants to stop the killing by threatening to kill. And if they mine the strait, which is, gives the potential for killing, but isn't actively killing unless you run over one of the mines because you don't participate in their blockade of our blockade of whatever the blockade is going on at any particular time, then they're going to kill you. So we're going to kill you for trying to maybe scare people into thinking they're going to get killed. Just kills me.
Never, ever be allowed with Iran. And for the first time in years, bad actors are facing real consequences instead of weakness.
What does James Woods have to do with this?
Now, before I get to the New York Times spin, which is incredible, let me give you the truth on what is happening. And in a minute, I'll show you all the sources behind it, too, so you can decide. Iran's economy is collapsing. Now, would we love to have regime change? Yes, but we don't want to have troops on the ground. We don't want to nation build. We don't want to own it.
Actually, Trump wants to name the fucking strait after him, and he does want to own it.
So we have to fight this war different than we fought any other war in the Middle East.
Yes, long-range bombing campaigns. My God, the Christianity.
He's collapsing the oil economy. Some say it has days, maybe by this weekend, before it has to shut down their oil wells.
Okay, this is the story that Trump told in the White House about how if they don't have anywhere to store their oil, their rigs will explode. Now, Russia's been through the similar kind of thing. They can truck shit out the other direction into Pakistan and sell it on the black market. The output of Karg Island is what he's mainly talking about, and blowing that up or owning it. And Trump means to maintain a presence on Karg Island indefinitely, I guess.
If that happens, it's over for Iran. They will have no income. Already their GDP is down over 40%. Can you imagine a 40% drop in our GDP?
Yeah, it was called COVID, and we got through it.
Since, the beginning of April? Their supreme leader is reportedly burned, disfigured, and losing control of his hardline generals, which is not good news. But
So there has been regime change for the worse.
At least we now know who we're negotiating against.
Okay? Wait, sorry. Negotiating against? I thought you negotiate with someone. If you're negotiating against someone, isn't that called an argument? Isn't that called fighting? Right? What do you mean negotiating against? Especially if it's a hardliner. There is no room for negotiation with a hardliner, dipshit.
The parliament speaker, the guy who we were hoping was going to have charge, just quit the negotiating team. So the regime is cracking, and it is going.
How did he quit? Did he quit Russian style? Did he have deceleration trauma? Cement poisoning?
To the hardliners, and it's still talking tough. The hardliners seem to be in power, but let's wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, just because it looks like everyone else is dead and the place is run by psychopaths now who are getting increasingly desperate does not mean that this isn't all part of the plan. Do you ever wonder how I got these scars?
This whole thing revolves around oil distribution points.
Yes, the moral battle we all want to fight. This whole thing is about, I thought it was about eliminating their nuclear weapons or their potential for nuclear weapons. That's it. Fuck it. We got a lot of regimes in the world that hate us and all that kind of stuff. And if they don't have a nuke or a missile that can reach us or our allies in the area, who gives a shit? Used to be the plan. But all of a sudden,
said since the early 80s, you want to hit them? You go into Karg Island. You get their pumps. You take their oil. Okay. Well, that's what we did. But we didn't take Karg Island. Normally, we would have bombed it and destroyed it.
Normally? Sorry, this is abnormal.
But that leaves you in the position again where you have to nation build afterwards, because you can't just leave that nation with all those good people, all those Persians and good Iranians with no food, no way to make any money. We don't need to occupy or destroy Karg to cripple.
So if you hold it through the weekend, their oil industry seizes up, their rigs explode like you were just talking about. It doesn't fucking matter if you hold Karg Island because all of their drilling sites have seized up and it will take them half a decade to re-drill this. What a fucking moron. You just said that we might as well. What's the difference between what happens this weekend within 4 or 5 days of their entire oil infrastructure and bombing Karg Island? It's just it's a matter of days. If we sit on Karg Island and they can't pump anything out, it's as good as blowing up the stuff on the interior. It's all part of the plan.
Iran's oil revenue. The current playbook. And this was confirmed by the Treasury Department on April 23rd, yesterday.
Yes. Any confirmation we got yesterday shows a long-term plan and the foresight necessary for an extremely tactically sophisticated military excursion. Is that what we're calling it?
And it is lower risk. You naval blockade all of the Iranian ports and the tankers. Our forces intercept any of these oil tankers that are headed in to take oil on or heading out. Anything headed toward Karg Island, which is where they fill all of these tankers, is not going to be allowed in or out, especially in.
Definitely. And maybe even not out.
Now, this is already
or even around. You do the hokey pokey and
slashed exports from 1.5 to 2 million barrels per day, near zero since mid-April. But oil, you can't stop the pumping of oil.
Right. So what fucking difference does it make if we blow up Karg Island or just wait until their oil pumps collapse? It's a fucking difference. What do you think would be easier to rebuild? Bombed pipes or frozen rigs? What an asshole.
So all of the oil from the fields that's being pumped is going into Karg.
How do you think someone like Gore Vidal would just be claiming there's one political party and just two wings? Yeah, you know who does that right now? People who are embarrassed they voted for Trump and followed this horse shit are now claiming the Democrats would have done all this. Well, why the fuck didn't they? Why did John McCain sing bomb Iran, but Obama made a deal? Why did Biden try to restart the deal? Why did Trump tear it up and then attack in his second term?
Tanks.
Because we're all the same. Everything's the same, says the person who voted wrong, who wants to make it look like, well, it wouldn't have mattered. It didn't make a difference anyways. It was just stupid. The whole thing's rigged.
But you got to get it off of the island. You got to get it into tankers, and you let physics do the rest. Okay.
Thanks, Professor.
Karg's onshore storage is about 13 million barrels. That's spare capacity. But when we block them in with a blockade, it's filling at about 1 million barrels per day net. They say that we're going to hit 13 million barrels, so they'll be out of storage space by April 26th or 27th. That's some estimates. Okay. Once it's full, this is the key. Once it's full, they have to shut down the upstream wells. They have to shut down the oil fields.
Right. And what's the difference between that and blowing up Karg Island? If we have a blockade and we're in charge of the blockade and they can't get the oil out and it's just filling up, why is one morally superior? Well, we didn't bomb the pumping station. We just froze it so that all their wells dried up or gacked up.
Or they have to burn the excess crude, which would be a disaster, but don't put it past the hardliners for doing that. If they don't do that, there is permanent damage on the well and damage that will take you sometimes 6 months to a year because pressure builds up and it locks in.
Yes, we understand how your intestinal system reacts to a fresh order of Sonic, Glenn.
When you turn it back on, you can go from 100 barrels per day to 20 barrels per day because you shut the thing down. And it's very long-term talk, costs a lot of money. It's destruction of those wells without blowing them up.
Yeah, he read a Bloomberg article about how the system works. By the way, this is all shit we've talked about from like the Russian sanctions and why Trump was desperately trying to let Russia get free of the sanctions so that they could have more wells in operation and they wouldn't gack up and stop working.
This, by the way, according to The Guardian. Now, Trump and his advisors have...
Sorry, The Guardian, which was quoting Bloomberg.
Repeatedly say...
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so stupid and physically painful.
What they want to do, instead of blowing things up and invasion, they want to push them to the brink. So they're sitting there and the hardliners are saying, let it go. And all of the normal people are saying, you can't.
Yeah, but those people don't have a say, shithead. And the hardliners want to be on the other side of the veil of existence. They don't care. That's what makes them hardliners. And if they're not hardliners, then they're just fucking playing poker with Trump.
For the nation. Okay. So seizing the island, that means we have casualties, the Iranian retaliation against the Gulf oil structures and the global price spikes and everything else. It'd be bad. Blockades achieve the same cutoff with the ships that are already there, according to Fox News. Ceasefire was...
So this is him citing the sources. I'm sorry. I thought there was going to be something on the screen that we could actually keep track of. Yeah, it's Glenn Beck, or what's left of him. I was certain he was going to show his work instead of just going, Guardian said that. When? I don't know, a couple years ago.
Explicitly extended to build this pressure. April 7th, April 8th, the ceasefire and its extension was not about peace and love. It was a tactical pause to do a couple of things. One,
reload.
Find out who we're negotiating with. Are we...
And kill them too.
The hardliners or the good guys? Who is actually in control?
There are no good guys. The good guys aren't in charge in any capacity. The average, like, Iranian/Persian does not have a say in any of this shit. What do you mean? He literally means the hardliners, IRGC, the actual like guys who run the military there, or the Khomeini religious types who are the hardliners because we killed the moderates who had been in power for a long time and managed to even out the interactions with the rest of the world for a while.
It's just flipped now. Looks like the hardliners are starting to be in control, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, so don't judge Trump for killing everybody except the fucking QAnons.
There's another story that is just breaking in the last hour or two that it looks like the delegation is going back to Islamabad to actually negotiate this weekend. We don't know who's in it.
So how does it look like they're going? If you don't know who's in it, how can you know if they're moving? And how do you know if they go that when they come back, they won't just get punched in the face and told to sit the fuck down? Which is what happened last time. And by the way, this is just him turd polishing for Trump again.
But this keeps the U.S., the blockade, in place. Iran gets some breathing room on bombing.
Which doesn't matter since the damage done is, just by inaction is as bad as bombing the sites themselves. It's like if we sit back and don't bomb their electrical grid, we freeze inputs on it. What we can do is allow them all to seize up so their electrical grid doesn't work anymore. But we didn't bomb them.
Killing people, and we're not sending troops in. I thought that was a good thing. And the economic vice tightens, which I thought is what everybody said. Even Barack Obama said we should just tighten the sanctions. Well,
right. There's a difference between tightening the sanctions and gutting their entire oil industry so that they have no recourse. That's not tight. That's strangulation.
No,
we aren't. We've frozen it solid. That is beyond tightening. At that point, like, we're at the point where the person has bit into the amyl nitrate orange and is very concerned their parents will find them with their pants around their ankle.
Scott Bessent yesterday said, in a matter of days, Karg Island storage will be full and the fragile Iranian oil wells will have to be shut off because they'll be shut in. That's from India Today. Now
this is him citing sources again. So, sorry, you got a quote from Scott Bessent from India Today. Was it exclusive?
Rumor going around today that they are going to set the oil fields, that Iran, the hardliners, will set the oil fields on fire. They'll just start burning the oil and put up some sort of a smoke screen this weekend. I looked and looked and looked. There's no credible reporting on this. There's no confirmation of anybody planning to do that, to burn.
The internet's down. They're not letting anything out. Have you noticed the lack of reporting from inside Iran? Jesus Christ. Even during the early days of Gaza, there were reporters in there speaking from inside the territories. There are none.
At Karg or elsewhere this weekend. That's according to Newsweek. They verified that there's nothing happening, but
no, they didn't. That's the best they can find. That's not verification. Also, stop citing Newsweek and The Guardian when you do nothing but shit on them all the time. You don't get to pick and choose what stories you like and call them fake news all the time.
You can't put it past the hardliners, okay? Because they just might do that. Because what else are they going to do? And if they believe chaos is the answer, well, then how do you negotiate with people who just want chaos? And how?
Yeah, that's how they feel about Trump, dipshit.
You let a nation that controls the world's oil supply.
They don't control the world's oil supply. They control a portion of it. And right now, we are blocking half of it.
If they're that crazy, how do you leave them in charge? You can't.
So regime change. What the fuck is happening? Sorry, is it just me or does Glenn Beck actively contradict everything he says within 8 sentences and yet never connect it in his own brain? Like have a moment where he's like, wait a minute, that's the exact opposite of what I just said. Just fall over.
Do you see what's happening here? Do you see what the actual question is?
No. What is it?
You can't, if they're that crazy, you can't let them have control of the choke point.
Right. So regime change. Exactly. You can't do this unless you're going all the way. So all this is a farce. We're going to go in and wipe them out because if they're hardliners now, then they've got to go because you can't negotiate with crazy people. And that's not what you're saying, is it? I don't even know what the fuck you're saying.
It's bad not just for the U.S., it's bad for the entire world.
Right. So we have to regime change the changed regime into another regime that we change it into, not for our sake, but for the world. Yes. What? Yeah. This is what happens, Larry.
Plus, by giving this...
Not plus. You didn't answer the first part, shithead. What do you mean plus? Plus regime change... Plus? Oh, fuck me.
This ceasefire a chance, you're letting that pressure work. So you're just doing sanctions with teeth.
No, you're not. That's not sanctions. Sanctions are you're taking a portion of or all of the money that come from a particular thing, or you're charging other countries where that oil goes to, and that kind of stuff. Freezing it up wholesale where nobody gets any and none of it goes anywhere, and the damage accrues over time. And if they reach a certain point, they will fill up their reserves and not be able to move it anywhere else, and it will destroy the entire infrastructure of their system. Is not a sanction, you absolute tit.
That's the problem with all the sanctions that we've had. Nobody believes those sanctions. They're like sending a strongly worded letter.
No, they're not. They worked. Ask Russia. Otherwise, why would Russia bitch about them? Why do they care? If it's a strongly worded letter that they can just ignore, then what difference did it make? How do you tighten something that wasn't there to start with?
This guy, they at least believe. Our own press is saying, would you drop a nuclear bomb on them? Of course not.
No, not of course not. He just threatened the whole civilization with annihilation, fuckwad. I think a lot of people would like to walk him back from that moment.
But at least, if they're thinking that, if our own press is thinking about that, what are they thinking?
That they desperately need a nuclear weapon now more than ever because they can't trust the U.S. won't elect another Trump at some point, and therefore the only way they'll be safe from attack is if they manage a nuclear arsenal like North Korea. So they might just, instead of trying to make one, just buy one from the Pakistanis or from North Korea or the Russians. Get an old one. Doesn't even have to fucking work.
So Iran's actual play is now floating the storage. That they sent out a 30-year-old ship, NASA, I think it is, NASA or something.
The Tuska. If he's talking about the one that was grabbed, it's the Tuska.
And they're trying to get it into the port.
The USS Nacho. That's what he's thinking of.
And they're trying to fill that up. If we blow up ships or stop their ships, these empty ships from getting into Karg Island, and we don't let them fill up and relieve that pressure.
He's talking about a different ship then.
They have no place to go. They have no place to go. Every time they send a ship in, it'll buy an extra couple of days. Okay, it's not a war-winning strategy, but it buys a few days. Survive and delay. That honestly is the entire strategy of not just Iran, but of NATO, of the WEF.
What?
Of all of the progressives and the Marxists and the radicals.
What the fuck are you talking about? Where did this become a factor? Sorry, how's that different from maggots trying to make it through the last 2 years of Trump fucking up everything he said he would do?
And the Islamists here in America just survive and delay for the next couple of years. And
yeah, that's what maggots are doing.
Let's see if we have another president who is going to go back to the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden kind of ways.
Oh, you mean peace first, negotiation, in good faith, trust building, allies, apprenticeship. Yeah. Genuine trade as opposed to protectionist, 1910 horse shit.
Just survive and delay. That is the strategy of everyone. Because his strategy is right. If we can hold it together.
Asshole, it doesn't matter. You're talking about not even. When is it? Fucking at maximum 4 fucking days. What strategy are you talking about? What do you mean? 4 days. What delay tactic are you talking about? If they fill up on the 26th or the 28th, that's 4 days from now. When? Good Lord. If they're full in 4 days, what difference does it make if they can, in theory, morally hold out for 3 more months? If it's going to freeze up all of their oil wells and destroy it anyways.
But if we start falling apart,
What do you mean, before Monday?
Getting weak-kneed, they know. And they'll just survive and delay. Do you want to win?
Till Tuesday?
Or not?
Do you want to win or not? Well, I don't know. I guess we don't want to win because Trump is just sitting there doing nothing while the regime is full of hardliners, like you said.
That's the question. Do you want the West to survive or not?
But how does this have anything to do with the Western survival? And by the way, the West doesn't survive if we become our enemy. If we kill all of our freedoms and throw our ethics out the window and destroy our rule of law and our structure of government, why would Iran need to invade if we turn into some sort of kleptocratic dictatorship? Isn't that what they have? How do we win by becoming them? Doesn't mean you have to be weak in this situation. Good Lord.
Yesterday, I retweeted something about what Canada has done with all of their energy projects. They've just gutted all of them. And I said, you don't have to like Drill Baby Drill. But which one of these is...
Hold on. Drill Baby Drill isn't a fucking thing. It's a hashtag. There is no Drill Baby Drill. You know how much oil we were drilling when Donald Trump came in? 13.5 million barrels a day. You know how much we're producing now? 13.5 million barrels a day. That 20 million number that Trump always cites is all petroleum products combined. Natural gas, LNG, fucking naphtha, petroleum jelly, everything. You know how much oil we were producing when he came into office? 13.5 million barrels a day. You know how much we're producing now? 13.5 million barrels a day. That's it. We've gone up like marginally within that window, and it's because of just the production of wells over time.
Suicidal for a nation. Which one is going to build the nation into a leader and
renewables, not needing oil for anything, moving all of our commuter cars to electrical power so that we don't need oil at all, and that the oil we export is 100% export. Like, the less we need it, the more we can sell it. Drilling more doesn't matter if you, like we do currently, produce 13.5 million barrels a day, and America uses 19 million barrels a day. Sorry, 20.2 is the new number. When does drill, baby, drill and energy independence truly happen if you produce 13.5 and you use 20.2? When? The day after you produce 20.3? 10 years from now? Good Lord.
survival
Yeah, dig we must.
system over the next 20 years, and which one will kill it?
Thorium reactors, micronuclear, and renewables. Why the fuck are we still using dinosaur goo to power our vehicles?
Very clear. So you don't have to like it, but
Can I point out that it's stupid?
which one is suicidal and which one's not?
It's suicidal to attach yourself to a fuel source that is relied upon by the entire world when you have a choice, and that a good portion of it has to go through the hands of evil motherfuckers.
Here's the thing. We are winning the economic attrition battle without needing to storm the island or drop any more bombs, hopefully.
Hopefully. That hopefully is carrying a lot of weight. Secondly, no, we're not. Consumer confidence just went through the floor. It's equal to how the Iranians feel.
Don't know how this is going to end.
Or if it's going to at all. That's it. Wait, that's the tail end. We don't know how that. Hold on. Wait. That's the last line of this shit?
Bombs, hopefully. We don't know how this is going to end.
Cut. Holy God. That's the end of the clip? Way to go out on, fuck me. Way to go out on a message of hope, Glenn. I guess this is what passes for high order thinking. Also, if I may, I see what we go into first. Meanwhile, for those of you that are hoping for peace, Lindsey Graham is happy right now. That should worry you. Hit the like, share the show. It's House Sparks Mega Worldwide. By the way, we have some trolls in the chat room. Thank you guys for being here. Wait, let me say this. Thank you guys for being here because you help us out in the algorithm in a way that the regular viewers can't. And so thumbs up or thumbs down, the algorithm doesn't care. It really doesn't. It just knows I'm an engaging and charming fellow, and that if you write something in there, not only does it go, hey, he's engaging, he's intoxicatingly engaging. So thank you for helping us out with the algorithm, and understand that the one thing about time is no refunds. So welcome, and just try to keep your bigoted language to a minimum. That's all I ask. All right, now. Lindsey Graham, game, set, match, destroying Karg Island would devastate Iran, says Lindsey Graham. And he's got the ear of the president. Thank you very much for this stuff. Israel defense minister puts Iran on notice. Like they're not. Also, who's reading the notice? How do you know?
Joining us now is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, as I listen to the
I do declare.
president, very
Hello. I'm smiling right now because of war. Good God. This is who it's good for.
calmly, very methodically go through where we were, where we started, how successful we've been.
Where we are, where we're going, where we've been, What time is it? Why Sean Hannity looks like a thumb.
Anyways, I was thinking he's kind of a victim of his own success in
Yeah, that's exactly what Trump's problem is right now. I agree.
the sense that
Things are going too awesome.
the first three tiers of leaders in Iran are gone.
I thought the first two were, and we were talking to the third.
Now, is the option to obliterate them on the table? He said that to me directly 2 days ago. I can do that in less than 15 minutes, Sean, anytime I want. However, he's trying to allow this to play out. And there's one other thing that the president really put emphasis on.
Get out of here. Okay, the video's low. Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up a little bit. There we go.
I think the media paid enough attention to is they now are selling no oil. They have no economy right now. They have a 200% inflation rate. Their currency is zero. And
yeah, the problem you have is that while the Iranian people require an economy to live, the regime itself is a bunch of religious fanatics and hardliners. So they can go without. See, when you're dealing with Vladimir Putin, the price of a yacht and the availability of one really does matter to a fuckwad like him, to a hedonist prick. But to these guys, it doesn't. And the more of them you kill, the less important that shit becomes. They're not worried about economic data right now.
they are not getting $400 and $450 or $500 million a day from oil.
Yeah, so either they're cool with that or they're ready to kill somebody. Like, you back them into a corner where you're like, well, the one thing about being totally fucked is that nobody would blame us if we went out in a blaze of glory.
Embargo has worked better than anyone thought, maybe to the point they won't be able to store it. Now they're going to have to
I think he meant blockade instead of embargo, but we'll let that slide.
their wells. That will be devastating to their economy, don't you think?
Well, absolutely. Let's look at what happened when President Trump took office. During the Obama-Biden years, Iran was able to produce 900 pounds of 60% highly enriched uranium. There's no commercial.
No, they were not. We had and you can argue this back and forth, but that shit was all produced during Trump and after his term when he tore up the JCPOA. Sorry, you don't get to pretend that Trump tore up the agreement because he saw that they had 60% enriched uranium. No, he just said, this deal doesn't count. I don't like it. Threw it out. And so they went, well, screw it. We got one chance. We got to produce a nuke or this asshole's coming for us. And they were right.
Purpose for that. It takes about 2 weeks to go from 60 to 90 to make weapons-grade uranium, enough to make 8 to 10 bombs. Their entire
which we obliterated last year, apparently.
enrichment facilities have been destroyed.
Well, then I guess we got nothing to worry about.
The 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium is buried underneath a bunch of rubble. The
Again, nothing to worry about.
Navy sunk, the Air Force is destroyed, their ability to sponsor terrorism has been lost, their economy is in free fall.
Well, then why is it one of the negotiations that they will stop sponsoring terrorism if they can't anymore? And why, by the way, are they still firing at... Well, they had airplanes flying over Tehran 3 days ago.
We have
Fighter jets. Shitty F-4s, but still, they have rockets.
them in a chokehold economically. The blockade is strangling their economy. It's about to go global.
It's also fucking with the economies of, a bunch of other countries.
So the bottom line here is they don't have a pathway to a nuclear bomb. They're no longer the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
So let's go home.
They don't have missiles to terrorize the region and the world like they
Okay, mission accomplished. Put up the banner. Let's get the fuck out.
used to. This has been an amazing success, and President Trump is right. Don't be in a hurry. Get it right. He's the first guy in 47 years to take these guys on, and they've had their ass kicked. Let's just be patient.
Yeah, let's just be patient because they've had their ass kicked, but he's still kicking their ass, which is so kicked it could never be unkicked. But we'll give him a little more ass kicking time. He's just taking a breather because he's a little winded from kicking ass.
When you say let's be patient, define that.
Yeah. Good question, John. What the fuck?
Just give us time to implement the blockade to its fullest extent.
Sorry, we're going to block other countries' ships as well? What are you talking about?
One of two things are going to happen.
What's the fullest extent? Has anything gotten through? Did we miss ships? What are you talking about? What does that even mean?
Iran's going to come to the negotiating table, this time with a deal we can hopefully all live with. Or if they don't, because they're so in disarray, Trump's going to finish the operation militarily.
Okay, so they're going to send people that we don't even know can agree with the people back in the country. So we'll sign a deal with people that can't implement the deal to give Trump the illusion that a deal has been signed so we can leave and let them ignore what we've done. Or we stay because we don't trust it if they show up or if they don't, and just continue bombing because this was all in bad faith and we were just reloading.
25% of targets we didn't hit the first time, we will hit the second time.
What are you waiting for? If they're still there and they're still a threat, why would 25% of missiles that can reach Israel or other places be okay if the other 75% had to go?
When we leave this thing, their oil infrastructure is going to be decimated, their economy is going to be in free fall, and Cargill Island is next.
It already is.
The one thing we haven't done that would be the knockout punch is to destroy Cargill Island, where they produce all their oil and gas, destroy that infrastructure. If we did that, game, set, match, and that is yet to be done.
Let me ask you this.
So why wasn't that the threat instead of destroying the entire civilization? Right? A crazy thought. Anybody know why that would be that would be what they proposed? Like Trump says, I'm going to destroy the civilization, all the electrical plants, all the bridges. If the whole thing that would game, set, match it was was blowing up an island with almost no people on it, just the infrastructure there, you wouldn't have to destroy the electrical grid. You wouldn't have to blow up the bridges. You wouldn't have to leave the Iranian people's infrastructure completely devastated. You could just wreck the economy and make them dig out of it, and therefore they would need world partners and have to participate like, gentle people. Future. Well, then why not threaten that?
Possible to entomb that nuclear dust that we talk so often about?
Yeah, it is. We could have a circle of death. You could draw a circle around where we know it's at and say anybody that goes inside that circle is going to be killed.
With what? Space lasers?
We can do that. We can enforce that. That's one.
Okay, so we need either ships in the area forever that are in range of firing missiles in that area, where we would, obviously large missiles, or we'd have to fire them from our allied bases in the area, which would make them a target as well.
To do it, maybe you go get it. But the bottom line here is that this...
Go get it. How do you go get it without boots on the ground?
Or by any reasonable measure has been a disaster for the capabilities of the Iranians to produce a nuclear weapon, to terrorize the region, and to support terrorism. They have been hit hard in every way possible.
Well, if they've been hit hard in every way possible, then we should fuck off.
And quite frankly, when it comes to their...
Why are we spending a dime more than every way possible?
The worst is yet to come.
By the way, because this is a lie, because it's all, the winds are exaggerated and they're all panicked that there might be a lot more stuff in storage or available to the Iranians than they think of. And they're worried that the Russians are whispering to our other allies and to Trump maybe himself that the Iranians actually have a stockpile of shit that could fuck you up. So be careful.
For Iran, wherever you're at carrying Iranian oil, you may be in Asia, the Navy is coming after you.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. How long do you think, if they're unable or incapable, if for example, they have no more storage for the oil that they are extracting?
By Monday, possibly by tomorrow.
And they have to cap those oil wells. The president says that could very likely reduce production of 50 or 60%. That would be a catastrophe economically in and of itself, would it not?
Yeah, that'd be a sort of a nuke to their economy. Nobody's going to use a nuclear weapon, but what we've done to their economy through economic fury.
They'd be lucky if we decide to use a nuke. They should ask us to nuke them instead.
It's pretty much destroyed. You know, if they run out of storage space for oil, they have to shut the wells down. And when you shut them down, it's hard to start them up. Without oil and gas revenue, they're out of business. They don't have any money for terrorism. They don't have any capability to build a nuclear weapon. They can't pay their own soldiers. They can't pay their own police. It's just a matter of time for people in the country rise up again, I think.
Yeah, exactly, Colin. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks after their all their oil wells shut down, which will take them 5 to 10 years to restart. 2 weeks after that, then people will give up. But it's too late anyways. I'm sorry, there's just no plan here.
Economic conditions in Iran are very dire, and they're getting worse. This is a brilliant move by President Trump. The blockade is working, and it's going...
You mean the mockade?
Bigger, and it's going to go global. Back here at home, we got to fight, folks. I hope people understand we'll be in an election here soon. Last night, we set in motion the ability to fund the Border Patrol and ICE. Democrats wouldn't give us a dime to pay the Border Patrol or ICE, and we're going to give $70 billion, fully fund the Border Patrol and ICE for the rest of President Trump's term to make sure that we're safe. But Democrats are just going nuts when it comes to immigration and the border.
Well, I mean, I don't know why there's such a hang up from Republicans that ICE operating in the United States, which is, again, very close to the military operating on American soil, why them wearing body cams is a non-starter. Why you guys will allow it to be shut down. If it's this serious a threat, if the threat is so serious, the body cams will show it, will it not? I don't know why you guys wouldn't want it on camera.
Big deal last night. Republicans set in motion giving DHS...
They set it in motion. All right.
ICE and the Border Patrol all the money they need to do their job. We're in a fight for the heart and soul of this country. I'm in a fight. I need your help. I hate to say this, but I've been outraged twice by Democrats. Please go to lindseygraham.com and help me if you can.
Sorry, lindseygraham. What? Wait 1 second. Hold on, I've got to...
Outraged twice by Democrats. Please go to lindseygraham.com and help me if you can.
Yeah, that wasn't .com I heard there. Is that me or...
I've been outraged twice by Democrats. Please go to lindseygraham.com and help me if you...
Yeah, no, that wasn't .com at all. That was something else entirely. Look, I can't be the only one doing Freudian slips today.
Say this, but I've been outraged twice by Democrats. Please go to lindseygraham.com and help me if you can.
Yeah. No, I'm not clicking on that link. I'm not falling for that. No way. I'm not the only one that heard that. Right. Chat room, back me up on this one. I didn't, is that what you heard as well? Okay. Me too. Yeah, nope. All right, here we go. Finishing up.
And with President Trump at every step, I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee when we did Kavanaugh. You remember that. I've been there with him. I think he's been a great president. He makes us safer. He makes us more prosperous. The Democrats have money. I don't know where they're getting all this money.
Gee, it's almost like they've got growing public support because Trump isn't popular.
I need your help. lindseygraham.com. Please.
Why would you, if you have a mandate and things have never been better and we're in the golden age, why would you have a problem? And if you're on the right side of history and all that stuff, why are Republicans so weak and lacking the spine to support you, Lindsey Graham, in your attempt to autoerotically asphyxiate the Iranian economy?
Help me if you can and help my teammates. When my primary is over, I'm going to help the whole team. But we're going to get this war right. Structurally, Iran has been decimated.
Sorry, you're having problems in your primary?
When it comes to fighting Democrats, we need to up our game. If you give these people control of the House or the Senate,
Yeah, we might get low unemployment and we might see inflation start to go back down again. We might actually get an economic policy that helps us lower interest rates.
we'll go back to the Biden years. Open borders, high taxes. We don't want to go back, or we want to go forward. Please help me if you can. Lindsey Graham.
No one can help you. All right, and they just brought him on for the tail end of this ad. It goes straight into, hey, thanks for watching, blah, blah, blah. Okay, one more time. How are we doing on time? We're all right. Okay, I'm getting through stuff. I'm chunking it out. Okay, now, but the goal is, in all this, is that we don't want to enter into World War III or 3.5, 3.7 beta. No, World War IV. World War 4.2. I've lost count. I've officially lost count. I don't know which it is. But apparently, we got a bunch of people over at Peanut Butter Dickhead's show still worrying about World War III. Trump, and this is the theory, Trump is preventing World War III. Shoot and kill order prevents Iran mining Hormuz. See, this is a smart tactic to threaten to kill people or whatever, because God knows it's stop drug traffic to fucking Haiti. So here we go. Hit the like, share the show. It's Housemarks Mega Worldwide.
Trump telling anybody that is landing, putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz to shoot him down and kill him. I don't know the exact words he used, but Rob, I'm sure you're going to find it.
Well, you don't shoot down boats. You sink them. But he does say that, so you're forgiven for quoting him like the dipshit that he is.
This story, what page is this story, Rob, by the way? And
Get it together. At least I do this by the seat of my pants. I don't pre-watch these videos. You've got a staff.
Trying to see where the story is at that he's talking about.
That is page 7. Trump issues shoot and kill order.
Is this addendum or is it
main packet?
Main packet. Okay, so let me go.
Yeah, so it's important to clarify. Thanks very much.
Trump issues shoot and kill order in a dramatic Hormuz escalation as Pentagon posts chilling video of U.S. troops seizing ships carrying Iranian oil amid unraveling sea.
Chilling? Why would it be chilling? What, are we afraid that, like, the sailors on these civilian boats are going to open fire on our soldiers with superior...
All right, Rob, if you want to... this is it. Okay. I've ordered the United States Navy to shoot and kill any boat, small...
Yes, death to the boats.
Boats.
Shoot and kill a boat. All right. I guess shoot to sink?
Though they may be, their naval ships are all 159 of them at the bottom of the sea.
They always mine the strait with small boats, by and large.
Is the putting in mines in the water.
That is putting mines in the waters.
In the Strait of Hormuz, there is
that am putting them mines in the waters.
No hesitation. Additionally, our minesweepers.
Why are sweepers in quotes? That's why is sweepers in quotes? Anyone? Maggots? Anybody in the chat? Why would you put sweepers in quotes? I'll tell you why. When people have told you that's what they're called, because that's what they're called, and you don't believe them. So you put it in quotes because you think you either have a better name for them than the one everyone uses, or you think your own people are fucking with you.
Are clearing the strait right now. I'm hereby ordering that activity to continue, but at a tripled up level. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay? So he's saying this. And Rob, I think you got a clip on this one as well if you want to play the clip.
I do. It's the seizure of the ships by the IRGC as well as the United States.
Right, because both are saying that they seized it, right? So play both of the clips.
No, they're not saying they both seized the same ship.
And then, Tom, I want to come to you first.
Here's the U.S. first.
Go for it.
Vessel Majestic X, we intend to conduct the boarding of your vessel.
Here's who to who.
United States to Iran.
Yeah, might notice the helicopter part and the Marines and shit. Might give you some kind of a clue.
They're seizing an Iranian ship.
Cargo ship.
Cargo ship, okay?
Right, 1960 demo.
Okay, and then flip it and do the other one.
Flip it and do the other one, which is show the Iranians boarding on. They're in a little boat. They climb up a ladder on the side of one of these other ships. If it's the same footage I'm talking about. Yeah, there it is.
Rob, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. But this is Iranians.
It is.
And what do we know about the ship?
Here's this the part that everybody's been showing online, right?
Uh-huh. We don't want you to know who we are because we are keeping our identities secret because some random reason. This is like the Al-Qaeda jungle gym footage.
Them
The music's nice. Shit.
into it. These are Iranians.
Yep. According to the IRGC.
Yeah, it looks like a staged, like a bad production video.
Does it look like a real video or does it look like an AI
it's
video?
a camera guy. No, I'm saying it's like a
Camera guy
like
up close shot.
Like an up close shot. He probably did like 3 or 4 takes. They're like, look scarier. You're not as scary as the guy before you. Your eyes weren't.
I need your head sock to be dirty.
Right to the camera a little bit.
You didn't say Allahu Akbar. Cut. Quick.
Tom, go ahead, Tom.
You're holding the gun backwards. so the Daily Mail is typically a conservative. It leans conservative, right? It leans
But it's not towing the line.
right wing, and things about nationalism, and it talks a lot about that. So when the Daily
By the way, our footage, while it didn't have close-ups of the soldiers inside the boat, which is, I think, the tell, still was cut together from clips to give an exciting view of us taking, stopping the ship, telling them to stop in the water, our helicopter flying over there, our guys, rappelling out of the aircraft.
Mail is saying Trump is to shoot to kill in dramatic Hormuz escalation. Wow, what is more escalating than we've been spending a month sinking Iranian ships?
That's what I don't.
And post chilling video.
Sorry, we haven't been spending a month. Well, I mean, it's been about a month since we've sunk any major Iranian ships. That's why Trump ordered the whole shoot to kill thing.
Video, bad guy gets shot is suddenly a chilling video. So I'm kind of disappointed in the Daily Mail. But what this says, Pat, is Daily Mail is part of this growing.
Well, there is a ceasefire that's allegedly going on. So ordering a shoot to kill on boats would be an escalation. If those ships are not firing on you and you have ordered your guys to shoot them no matter what, just for showing up, that it's an escalation. Now, you can argue that mining the strait is an escalation, but depends on where they're putting the mines. If it's inside their territorial waters, they can.
Cheering that's coming that's saying we want this war over, we want all this stuff done. But the point here is they're putting mines. Let's look at what everybody's getting upset about.
How do you know?
The Iranians last week said, I don't know where the mines are. I lost my mines. Where? I've lost my mind and I've lost my mines. I don't know. I don't remember where I put them. He says, gosh, where are they? And now this week they come in and they're putting little boats in specific areas and putting new mines down. Really? So you're not worried about that little boat going over and accidentally running to a mine that you forgot where it is. And he's going over there, what I talked about before. Remember the southern lanes? The lanes that go tightly around the horn there? And those
Oman.
together, the lane that goes this way, the 2-mile buffer in the middle, and the lane that goes that way. And then they've moved them all the way up to be close to Iran, where they could also have a toll booth. So what's going on here is Trump is doing exactly what he should be doing to keep international freighters with unarmed sailors that are just taking goods and oil back and forth, Pat. And Trump is saying, hey, if you're putting more mines out there and you're trying to do this, shoot to kill. You're an enemy combatant. And
Right, unless they put them in their own territorial waters. That's the difference, which is, again, firing on their territory. If they put them in the other lanes, that would be, there you go. If they cross out of their territorial waters, you would say that. He's not. He's saying the Strait of Hormuz, period. Come off the land, you're getting killed.
armed with a mine, which makes you a soldier, which makes you an enemy.
Also, how do you know?
Which makes you a target.
What, do they get to drop one mine and then you kill them?
Which makes you
on the really short end on the actuarial table. And so,
Elon.
No, it's exactly as Tom said. It's become a binary. You're either for what's happening or you're against what's happening. And if you're
Yes, simplify it for the simpletons.
for what's happening and what Trump is doing in Iran right now, and you believe it was a viable action to go in at this time, then what he just said about the mine and everything you just said, Tom, is absolutely correct. If you don't, you're going to have a problem with any action Trump takes. My question to people is, what burden of proof at this point would you be okay with for our continued presence in Iran? I mean, they've proven they've enriched uranium past 60%.
No, they haven't. And what they did have, we obliterated it last year. Again, in this situation, hold on. Take a listen to what this dickhead is saying. So the idea is, who do you trust? Who do you trust in what they're saying? Okay. And what confirmation would you need to allow continued military action in the area? Listen to this.
Continued presence in Iran. I mean, they've proven they've enriched uranium past 60%.
Okay. They have proven they have enriched it past 60%. But Donald Trump says we obliterated it last year. We destroyed it. It's dust. It's buried under a mountain. So what he's saying is, you either believe Trump or you don't. And then points out how unbelievable Trump's claims are. If I'm supposed to believe Trump, then we're done here.
Scientists have come out and said they were developing enough to have nuclear power, nuclear bombs. They lie
Nuclear power is their right internationally.
about their intermediate range ballistic missiles. They lie about virtually everything.
Also, every country in the region has intermediate range ballistic missiles. It became a special case to give an excuse to go back in and attack them after we allegedly obliterated their nuclear program. That's one of the big questions that people are like, sorry, the standard was initially they can't have a nuclear weapon. Now is they can't have a military at all. And we're not doing regime change, but we're going to kill every set of leaders they send out until we find one that will give us what we want.
As much as people say this is going to be World War III, I've heard that a million times. This is how you prevent World War III. So I think the fundamental binary here is I'm okay with
killing for peace.
What we're doing in Iran right now, I don't see that this is so controversial to take out people who are literally mining a strait.
Well, the problem is you don't know they're mining the strait unless you just go, that's a mining boat, and you just call it from the air. Like the boats we shot that were not delivering drugs to the United States. That, by the way, the people on them could have been patsies forced to take these boats because they're not going to send their best and brightest on these boats if they're going to get blown up by the U.S. military. So they take people and they go, we got your family hostage. Take this boat to fucking Haiti full of fentanyl or whatever the fuck's in there, cocaine. And if it doesn't get there, we're going to kill your family. And the U.S. government blows them up in the water instead of just seizing it and figuring out who was working for who and all this kind of stuff. You just got them killed and their family killed, in theory.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Vinny.
That's where I'm at with it. Apparently, this is where he's at. Where he is at is that Trump is a liar. That's it. That's it. He's just Trump lied when he said we obliterated the nukes last year. That's a lie. So we have to attack them again. Because according to him, we need to attack Iran and continue doing this because Trump is a liar. That's now the official position of Peanut Butter Dickhead and crew.
I agree. It's like at this point, we're past the point of no return, and it's a war.
Well, there you go. And nobody could get us out of it. So maybe that's why other people didn't start it in the first fucking place. So we're past the point of no return. It's war now. Fuck them up.
Or you want to win. If I saw somebody online that was literally cheering for us to lose, meaning us losing American soldiers. And I get, guys, we could.
Sorry, who? Is it a maggot account that suddenly turned that's actually from, was established in the fucking Philippines? And I don't give a shit what the algorithm is showing you, whatever your lunatic thumb is stopping on. Of course it's showing you that. It's an outrage machine, dipshit.
You all day. I know the people out there are like, what? I get it. We've already had those conversations.
It's too late. Trump has already made the decision. Get on board. If you don't support everything he does, the terrorists win. Yeah, sure.
Where we are right now, if you are cheering against us, that means you're okay with American soldiers dying.
Why? We're not going to have why? Because we're going to have boots on the ground? Is that your argument? And nobody wants soldiers to get killed. We want our soldiers out of there. And criticizing Donald Trump is not criticizing the capability of the military at all. And making that fucking false choice is using our soldiers as a human shield against Donald Trump's failed horseshit idea of how the world works.
That's a stupid attitude. And he's right. And by the way, that video
that doesn't exist, by the way,
reminds me of some of those videos that ISIS and them were making of like fake, like doing this video, you know, where they were taking hostages. It wasn't hostages. They were actually
the little missile robot thing that came to Trump's golf course. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was gonna
videos to scare people. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, you have a boat that's going to be dropping mines. We're going to blow you up. I'm sorry. That's where we're at.
So to me,
again, how do you know the boat is going to drop mines until it does? In which case they just do. And how big does the boat have to be before you hit it? And what if they just use a bunch of fucking fishing boats all at once? And like, I'm just testing the limits of the theory behind this alleged strategy.
The word that I keep thinking about when I'm talking about this thing Iran is the whole point
is stupid
of a chokehold, right? So there's chokeholds and there's choke points. Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh God, this is gonna get too macho for all of us, I bet.
Which no one basically ever heard of until 6 months ago when this.
Horseshit. Just because you were ignorant about it doesn't mean everybody else was. Your boss, Peanut Butter Dickhead, knows about it. Everybody knew about it during the Iraq War and Afghanistan. It kept coming up. Anytime a crisis happened between Iran and Israel, it came up. During the Iran-Iraq War, when it was shut off the last time, it came up. No, the world is not as ignorant as you are, dipshit.
Really got going. Strait of Hormuz is one of the top 5 choke points in the world, right? Strait of Malacca. You talk about the Suez Canal. You talk about the Panama Canal.
Your Peanut Butter Dickhead's colon.
I believe, of the world's oil comes through, energy comes through this. What United States is doing, we went to the UFC fight the other day. What United States is doing is basically they came from behind Iran.
Oh my God. What'd I tell you? This is what we did. And Iran in this situation is a 9-year-old boy. So just in terms of strength and in terms of resilience and all this stuff, and compared to the U.S. military, which is the size of Hulk Hogan. So in his little fucking autoerotic fantasy, Hulk Hogan is sneaking up behind a 9-year-old boy.
Have him in a full-on chokehold. And they're choking them out. What's the thing that Joe Rogan is? He's got him in a rear naked chokehold. He's going to choke him out. That's what they're doing economically. But here's the rub. Timing matters here. Because as you're choking them out, how much money are they losing a day? $500 million?
Yeah.
500 million, do some quick math. So that's $1 billion every 2 days. That's
kind of $1
billion a week. That's over $10 billion a month, choking them out. And then eventually they're going to not have any money.
By the way, for the record, that means they were making $1 billion every 2 days for the last 10 years. What do you think these guys just have no savings whatsoever? What do you think they're spending it on? Gold leafing their fucking equivalent of the White House?
Now, Trump has to do this.
Also, who are you choking out? Like this is the equivalent. It's a lot more like they got in the ring with these folks, with the Iranian fighter, and walked right past him and started choking out people in the stands.
Logically and methodically, and with enough time for him to recover before the midterms. So I think you need to have at least the summer to build up to the midterms, because Trump maybe understands that he can still win the midterms. I'm not writing them off yet. If Trump can basically say, we won, we've choked them out, look at us now, you know, who was right, who was wrong. Vinny was right about one thing. Their entire association is they're rooting against Trump.
No, they're recognizing this is a shit strategy, if there's any strategy. It's a shit tactic. There's no question that we could, as the U.S., destroy an entire country the size of Iran. We have the military capability. It's not about could, it's about should. And again, Trump doesn't make deals. He strong arms people. And if it doesn't work, he just taps out and leaves.
Democratic Party or the woke right, the trans right, whatever you want to call them, they're rooting against America.
No, we're not. We are not. We're rooting for America to remain America and not just become another Russia, another China, another Iran, or another North Korea.
At the end of the day, they want our military to lose. They want.
No, they don't. We don't want our military fighting this war anyways. And besides, I thought the nuclear program was obliterated last year.
To win, that's the problem I have.
We got.
You know what? You know what it is? I'm tired of winning. That's what it is. I think that's what we are. It's not that we're against. Oh, trans right is their derogatory term for the what they also call the woke right, which they are, you know, aren't the people who aren't loyal enough to Trump to buy this bullshit.
Who's here today? Last time we did this, it moved very, very fast. We have 200 signed hats from the.
Oh, fuck off. I'm embarrassed by this. Look, I know I should pitch my stuff more than I do. But part of what turns me off from saying, hey, buy some merch, come see a show, blah, 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 is so fucking, it's so gross when Peanut Butter Dickhead and Glenn Beck do it that it turns me off the entire process. So subscribe and do the free stuff. And if you want to help the show, please do. But like, I get so nauseated watching this asshole talk about death and destruction willy-nilly through the whole clip and then follow it up with, hey, buy we got the big fucking trunk full of hats over here and they're not moving. So buy them up and, you know, put them on your dome and buy your future is bright shoes that we had made in Italy. Ugh. This reminds me of the Vietnam argument. It's very similar. Yeah. Very similar. So, all right, next up, there's so much. All right, we got past Miss Lindsay. Okay, so let's go to the infighting. So, obviously Maggot Land is having their own kind of internal struggle, and we got Trump's favorite maggot blow-up doll, Trish Regan, who seriously tries to make all of her promo shots look like the picture on the front of a box of a blow-up doll. And then, I don't know why she would show Trump's, I don't have my nut warning, but good God, just, ugh. That is disgusting. Get that fixed. I don't know why someone with $1 billion can't get that dealt with. Good Lord. Meanwhile, Tucker just looks confused. But money talks. Tucker Carlson cashing in on anti-Trump turn, accusations mount. Now, I don't know if she's going to say that he's being paid to say these things by a group like the Tenant Media folks that were supporting Tim Pool and Bend Over Johnson and that crowd. Or if there's just a big audience for this, which there is. And he's just making money hand over fist like Candace Owens is because there's people that are willing to support this because they believe in it.
Given that we know liberal groups were paying, or at least a liberal group was paying conservative right-wing nut jobs to try to stir up controversy.
Oh, she's talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center case that the FBI just brought. that accuses them because they were paying informants to tell them about stuff so they could inform the FBI and other stuff, that they were, this is right up there with that whole thing like Ray Epps was a fucking FBI informant or some shit like that. So in all these cases, anybody who pays to get information is funding that thing. In the same way that if you allow Iran to buy food and medicine, that's money that they didn't have to buy bombs with, so they can take the money they had that they were going to spend on food and medicine and buy bombs with it. So by trying to help them with food and medicine, you're helping them buy bombs. This is the same reasoning across all these points. But right now, the idea is that what her inference here is, because she's too weak to imply things, she's allowing for the inference therein. She's effectively saying that Tucker Carlson is being paid by a group like unto the Southern Poverty Law Center or some group like it, Soros or whatever, to go against Trump. And he's cashing in on it. And that's why he has such a swanky wood house.
A lot of people online today are asking the question of...
Yeah, they're just asking the question. How's that feel, Tucker? Coming back to bite you in the ass like that demon trucker?
Whether or not liberal groups are actually paying some conservatives that are influencers to try to divide MAGA.
I see. Try to divide MAGA. Well, how would they do that? You mean shit on Trump?
So this has been something that very much is...
Tucker Carlson says he is tormented by his past support for Trump. Not enough to apologize to the people he vilified who were saying this whole time that Trump is untrustworthy and full of shit.
I kind of hinted at it yesterday. Remember, we were talking and I was looking at Tucker Carlson. I'm trying to figure out like what he's doing and why he's doing it. And
yeah, and it's completely alien to you that somebody might actually think this shit through, or that somebody as full of shit as Tucker Carlson might have a moment of clarity.
It's pretty simple in some way.
By the way, fuck both of these people.
It's clicks and attention and money. Okay, money, money, money.
Yeah, he's like the heir to the Swanson frozen dinner fortune. He's the stepkid of that order. He's a trust fund baby. He's got millions of dollars from working for CNN and Fox on top of that. So basically this is the greed projection of someone who, wants a chunk of that or something.
That matters. And if you think through that lens for a moment, I mean, because I've said,
when do you not?
Look, I'm really lucky. I'm in a very fortunate position. And by the way, I don't do this for money. I mean, it is a job, right? But I don't do this because I'm trying to, bank 100 mil and get a sweet spot in Qatar, right? Like I really don't.
Do you already have that, or?
Do it because I'm like actually really committed to the news, and I'm committed to you guys. I'm committed to this country, and yet.
Hi, one of the trolls says Democrats are domestic terrorists. I'm a Democrat, and if you're terrified by me criticizing Trump, that's because you're morally and mentally and spiritually weak.
I make
just because the truth is terrifying doesn't mean the person who tells you the truth a terrorist. But thanks for writing stuff down, because again, it does help us with the algorithm.
At it, but it's a little different than some people out there, shall we say? And I think that he's got some challenges he's facing. Don't forget, just a few weeks ago, he was all upset because he claimed the CIA was onto him and that they'd been reading his text with Iran. So there's fear out there, and he tried to get ahead of this story somehow,
which never happened.
Might be getting paid by foreign countries, which would make him a spy, I guess. Now, again,
no, he has no information that he can act on as a spy. It's a foreign influence thing. It's FARA violations. It's not like, understand, Tucker Carlson does not have any useful information. Not on his show, and certainly not through access to the fucking Pentagon or something. When he hangs out with Trump, all eyes are on him. They manipulated him on purpose. But I got to tell you, like, they're going to, if they arrest Tucker Carlson for any of this shit, awesome. It won't go anywhere because Kash Patel and fucking Blanche and all these assholes are completely ineffective terrible at their jobs. Weak, pathetic, small, and stupid. They couldn't get Comey. They can't get Tish James. They couldn't get Hunter Biden. They're talking out of their ass. It's all made up, and they fear discovery. So even if they went through with some of these cases, they would shut them down themselves. This is just PR. Their version of lawfare is just a PR scam.
Is this? He says, I haven't been paid by anybody in a foreign
By the way, give the show a thumbs up if you would. Hit the thumbs up while you're watching. Give it a shot.
country. But I do go back to the
Or a thumbs down, because
for example, and I'm just going to say, like, you don't go over there and do all those interviews and attend a big junket like that unless you're getting paid in this business. Okay.
So he's being paid by Russia too, then. So Russia is manipulating our electorate and hiring spies on American soil. You're so close to it, Trish. You're so close.
You just don't. Like, it's
Trump's going to win. Trump's not going to win the midterms. Trump is not up in the midterms at all. And the Republicans are going to lose the House and very possibly the Senate.
It's, you might do it for your hometown or for your alma mater, but you don't go all the way to Qatar without a paycheck. And so the concern is that there may be some soft money going on. Like, he goes to Qatar and he meets all these people. And
Did they give him a plane? Because that would be the tell.
people are like, okay, let's lobby him. And then maybe he can, we'll pay him in indirect ways. And then he can put out a narrative on his very popular podcast that gets a lot of attention that will actually be beneficial for us. And so whether it's a foreign country or whether it's a liberal group, I mean, there's a distinction. I think that he could probably take money from a liberal group. He should disclose it, obviously.
Obviously. I mean, there should be like a FARA for political groups. If you're taking stuff from Republicans, you're taking money from Democrats, you should disclose that if it's not obvious, if you're a flim flam artist like yourself or like Tucker Carlson, you should have to let down. I'm for it. Yeah. Tell you what, if Republicans donate to my show, A, it wouldn't change a word of what I'm saying, and B, I would gladly tell you that they are even dumber than we thought they were.
But he probably could do that a lot more easily than taking money from, say, Iran.
Why? All you'd have to do is set up an account in Qatar or in the Bank of Cyprus or in the Caymans, which I'm sure he has. And they gave him a bunch of land in Qatar, so maybe he's just taking physical, which was announced.
If that is in fact the case, or Qatar, which I gotta assume, like Qatar, I mean, again, you don't.
You mean the people that gave Trump a plane?
And do those things for free. And so.
Right, yeah, Trump's not going to help Qatar for free. That's what the plane was for. So he's being bribed by Qatar. You're onto something, Trish. Keep mining this vein, baby.
Administration may have been sensitive to this, and they may have been watching this, and he and his sources within.
There's a lot of mayhaves and maybes in this, if you haven't noticed.
His office. Don't forget, one of the guys that just resigned in a pretty spectacular way, right, was his friend and was on his show the next day. So.
Oh, you mean Joe Kent? What about Felon, the aptly named naval secretary that Trump had, who was A, fucking up shipbuilding by being an idiot, and B, tied to Epstein, that's why the whole like shipbuilding thing is just cover. The fact that he didn't get along with the shipbuilders is just cover for why he had to be fired, because he has Epstein ties, just like Nutlick. The only difference is that as naval secretary, there wasn't any money for Trump to make like it is through Nutlick.
Joey something. So Joey, who is singing a very different tune than he used to, but he also married a woman who sings a different tune and works for a guy who runs a website that is definitely on everybody's side except for ours. I'm just piecing it together for you all.
What website would that be? The Daily Wire? Or
I would say that he got tipped off, that they were looking into him because they do worry that he's a spy, a gun for hire, a media.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any information. And if he does, it would have been because Trump trusted him and blabbed.
Gun for hire. And I would say this, if he is, he's probably a pretty good one. Because he's really tearing things up, and it's unfortunate. But again,
I see. So he's a spy, and he's a really good one because he goes on the air and talks, and maggots who used to buy it hook, line, and sinker are now buying this shit hook, line, and sinker. Maybe it's not that he's a great spy. Maybe it's not that Trump is a terrific salesperson. Maybe it's that maggots, by and large, are dough-headed morons who can be easily led around by the nose with whatever race bait you can throw in front of them.
If you're not guided by some other principle and the demons are coming to scratch you to death at night and you're kind of going off the deep end in more ways than one.
Oh, I see. His religious beliefs, thank you, are absurd and based on psychosis, or he's hiding scrapes from a trucker he met at a truck stop by pretending it was a demon. So he has a story to tell his wife that somehow she believes.
Donald Trump said he needs a good psychiatrist. You know, this is what's happening. Oh, yeah, here's the president writing, it's easy. Tucker's a low IQ person, always easy to beat, highly overrated. He goes after a bunch of others, saying, you know, one of the guys is totally bankrupt, too, you know, and there's reasons for that. So maybe they do need the money. There's a story actually out today.
Sorry, what? Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are making money hand over fist. Their ad rev is way up on all the sites they're on just because of the visibility, even just the shock aspect of it. So they're not going broke because of this. And Alex Jones's, you know, quote unquote bankruptcy is him trying to hide funds from the Sandy Hook families. He's not bankrupt because he fucked up his business. It was a fucked up business to start with. It was always based on a lie, but it was a very sellable lie.
To point out about Tucker Carlson's family, we know that the son just either got fired or he quit. We don't know exactly the details on that. I mean, he should have been fired a long time ago from J.D. Vance's office. He was working there in the press office. But
why? J.D. liked him. He liked having the young man around. Just kind of a, you know, everybody's got a type, I think.
Would say that it's important to remember, does he need the money? I wouldn't think he would, right? Like I would hope.
Right.
That he made enough money at Fox and he invested carefully and smartly and he's sitting pretty. But there's another story today in the Daily Mail about his sister suing him because he has been getting $2,000 a month from his adopted mother's estate, which apparently he wasn't entitled to according to her version of the story. But I'm just like, it's $2,000 a month. I know $2,000 is $2,000, but I'm sorry. Like the guy was making millions, and trust me, he's definitely making millions now. So are you really going to like hold your sister up for the $2,000 a month? I mean, is it that important?
Stepsister.
I don't know, but think of that in the context of what's going on. And then don't forget what he and the brother, who also,
sorry, you think Tucker Carlson wouldn't steal from his siblings and keep it no matter how petty and small the amount of money was? You think he's the kind of person that would go, oh dear, she needs the 2,000 more than I do. You kidding me? The dude is a Darwinist. His religious beliefs are a farce. They're designed to build a future audience for him. It's the post-Fox system. Everybody, like Glenn Beck, everybody, they just get pseudo-religious so that suckers will continue to send them money. And
part of this political machine. I guess the father was too. He used to work for the CIA. Huh? Wow. This was the soundbite that's got everybody going.
We do have remedy.
By the way, that's his brother, Buckley, right? He's got a son named Buckley and a brother named Buckley. That's part of the confusion. And it's his brother that I was talking about the other day when I said he looked like Tucker Carlson fucked Liberace. And now try to unsee it.
For an out of control, megalomaniacal, destructive president. I think, honest people who have that power.
I mean, nailed it. Thank you. Thank you, chat room. Nailed it. Is that not the singular greatest description of that human being that anybody could make? All right. So just saying, you're welcome. There you go.
Should consider taking it.
So looking back, because I mean, you and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yeah, it's not enough to feel bad about it or start, trying to win back your maggot crowd who've already where that ship has largely sailed. Sorry, doesn't work that way. You owe people like me an apology because you demonized us for saying exactly who Trump was. And also, your brother looks like you fucked Liberace.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening.
Yeah, exactly. And the rest of us that said this was going to happen because Trump is a liar and he was lying to you as much as he was lying to us, we could just spot it. You attacked us for pointing out what a liar he was and how obvious this would be. Also, your brother looks like you fucked Liberace.
Oh, yes. So,
see,
I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're just moving from one side of the ledger to the other. There's enough maggots out there where the intense money is to be made going against Trump at this point and helping the conservative part of the movement that's left over from Heritage and all those other guys get away from Trump and start putting him in the rearview mirror because he's ultimately very unpopular. So the money is to be made in distancing yourself from Trump starting now at the latest, right? And then obviously all along you can look like, you're a man of integrity to that crowd as you basically try to buy into the other side of MAGA and ride, I don't know, Nick Fuentes' jock.
We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be.
No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll be giggling like a dipshit in another 3 sentences.
Tormented for a long time. This is his big mea culpa, his big apology. And now he's getting lots of press coverage and media loves it. I guess they forgot the part about the demons, right?
Well, I mean, no, please go ahead and make the point that his religious or pseudo-religious assertions are horseshit, and that anybody that believes them is a lunatic or a dough-headed moron. Knock yourself out. Thank you, Crystal.
You might question somebody's stability. Just saying.
You mean like Paula White? She says the same shit. Trump's spiritual advisor.
Just saying, given the earlier talk about the demons, etc. But what can I say? We don't have any proof of this. I would imagine it is being looked into, and
the demon fucking, or the fact that it was really a trucker in a bathroom at a truck stop nearby. At least that's the story he had to tell his wife.
He might have been onto something. He said they were going to come and say he was in.
Oh, this CIA thing. Yeah, I thought it was the fact that he hid his affair with a trucker as a demon attack. I mean, I think that's most of us. That's our go-to story. Where those scratches on your back come from? Think quickly. Demon. I was manhandled. I was wrestling a demon. You were asleep. Didn't make much noise. And when it left a condom on the dresser too. I got lots to do. Lots of cleaning to do.
Of being a foreign agent, and perhaps they are still looking into that. The rules are a little bit tricky, right? Because if you're lobbying, that's one thing. But if you're just getting out there on your podcast, that might be a little bit different. So
right, you're just bullshitting.
We'll see where this goes.
That pause took way too long. That's right.
I would say that there's a growing number of people that just are questioning where the allegiance is, and many of us assume it's to the almighty dollar, if you would.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Do you think maggots in general don't like that? Sorry, are you under the impression that conservatives think it's bad when someone's allegiance is to the dollar over God and country? You're kidding, right? Anyways, it just gets dopier, but we'll leave her with her mouth agape as it is. Now, on the other side, apparently a gauntlet has been thrown by Jillian Michaels because no one wants to debate her. Like they're just, and it couldn't be because of her ratings. It must be because they're afraid. And so she is calling them, hold on. It's, she's calling them cowards. Here it is. Look at this. Bam. Breaking update, throwing down the gauntlet. If you believe in your moral superiority so much, then why do you shy away from debating your ideas? Come on the podcast and share your side with both sides of the aisle. I don't know who she's yelling at. I'll do it. I'd gladly do it. And what are you afraid of, Jillian Michaels, you coward?
All right.
All right, God damn it.
I'm going to have a little mini meltdown right now.
Thank you, Cheryl. Bless you. This might be why Republican men think women shouldn't be in positions of authority. They'll use clips like this. I'm just saying.
I want you guys to know that I read as many of your comments as I can. That's not what I'm having a meltdown about. I absolutely love it. I'm so grateful every time you leave me a comment.
Nice comment, farming. That's great. Or fishing, I guess, technically. She's just kind of like, I love your comments. Keep them coming. Both of them. Also, if I say this, no one will notice the weird number of bot comments on my channel that flood in right when I say it, because we pay these comment farms to fill in exactly when I say that. And we don't have the same comment buying agent that Russell Brand and other people have. Wink, wink.
I'm disappointed in the fact that I cannot deliver a lot of you what you're asking me for.
Intelligent discourse, real information, facts.
I read the comments. I do see you ask me for moderate guests and more liberal guests. You want a more balanced perspective. I want to give you a more balanced perspective. They don't show up.
What the fuck are you talking about? Hey, I've never been asked. I don't know who the fuck you're asking. And your problem might be is you're asking the liberal channels with like 6 million subscribers to come on your Podunk 663. How about asking me? I'll do it. Let's go.
They don't show up.
Maybe it's just a scheduling thing. Maybe your assistant gave them the wrong time, or the link didn't work. Maybe sometimes it's a problem when people have that. You know, internet can be funky some days. Or
I asked Wajahat Ali, come on the show. Talk to me about Islam. Tell me where we're getting it wrong. Tell me why this is Islamophobia. Stopped answering me. Didn't show up. I've asked.
I don't even see a conversation before that with Wajahat Ali. I don't know, whatever.
Pro-vaxxers, Dr. Neil Stone, come have a conversation.
To consider a debate with someone like Mary Bowden, I'd like to host the can debate this topic for 2 doctors. Okay, so you want him to go across, like debate an anti-vaxxer. You're not asking him to come on and talk to you. You want to create a debate show where you can just sit back and 2 of you can double team him. Yeah. I mean, it's a waste of his fucking time.
Come, let's debate this.
Yeah, I'd be open to do it. Those debates are generally a test of who is a better debater than who is right.
Doctors that disagree with you. Here's a platform. No, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but it's not much of a platform. I mean, it's 80% bot army. I mean, what are you going to do? Go have a debate in front of a bunch of robots and see if which is programmed to say you suck?
I have asked people who are, this is my favorite. This is the one that I just got today, which is why I'm so annoyed.
I've seen your videos. You're always this annoyed. I don't think I've seen a video in at least a year that doesn't sound exactly like this.
We reached out to Planned Parenthood and said, would you be willing to have a conversation with somebody who's pro-choice? Let's show the country that we can come together and have conversations and try to find common ground. We will not be participating.
Sylvia Garzario will not be participating. We appreciate your thinking of WRF. Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. Is that, is that a front group or a PR group for Planned Parenthood? Why don't you just reach out to Planned Parenthood directly?
My team said...
Sorry, why? And also, pardon my ignorance, but if Planned Parenthood says no, there should be somebody from Planned Parenthood that says no. I know somebody who's a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood. That ain't them.
Is it the host? Is it the subject matter? And
it's the host. If I were you, I would take it personally. That's the key. By the way, please send this clip to Jillian Michaels. I'll come on and talk about any topic she wants. All of these. I'll talk about why pro-choice is actually God's choice. I'll talk about how Trump's economic plan isn't an economic plan. It's a flim-flam cover for him trying to eliminate the income tax for him and his rich buddies and shift the tax burden onto consumers because he and his buddies buy all their goods in bulk outside the country and then write off half of it or buy it using debt as a way to zero out their tax liability, even when tariffs would affect them. Meanwhile, everybody else has to shop at the fucking grocery store and it drives prices up. Duh.
Answer.
Why is she dressed like Fidel Castro? Good question. Good question. I think she's auditioning to play the ingenue in the new remake of Bananas. Bananas, bananas, bananas.
How am I supposed to feature the other side of the argument
if they don't take me seriously?
The liberals and the leftists will not show up.
Well, real quick, it's not that they're not showing up. They didn't agree to the debate and stuff and then ghost you. They're turning you down. This isn't a lack of showing up. This is, thanks, we'll pass. I got better shit to do. I have real things to do.
And that pisses me off even more is because you guys sit on your side of the line.
I will not be ignored.
Fire pot shots at people, but then when you're invited to show up, you don't show up.
Well, they show up on other shows. I mean, maybe they're just too busy being on real news.
Oh, you're all racist. Okay. Hey, Leslie Jones, you're going to call me a racist. Come, show up. Call me a racist to my face. I want to hear what you have to say.
I don't know if Leslie Jones called her a racist or was just a generic thing about maggots or something like that, but she's obviously taking it very personally. So I don't know. Are you building your own smoke, there's fire moment?
No response. Abby Phillip, you sit there and you lie your ass off about me and the things that I said. Come, show up. Let's talk it through. Let's discuss what...
I got to tell you, if they're not answering your emails, I'm guessing they're not watching your clips either.
Happened.
It's her penis that upsets them? Is that the
That's
argument?
where that conversation should go. No response. It's all the same. All of the leftists won't show up, and I'll give you one more.
So far, 3 people with big audiences, bigger than yours, that don't feel like coming on to have you like clout leapfrog on them. I think this is because they recognize that you're trying to clout climb on other people.
There is a leftist or a Democrat who's going to be running for president. I'm not going to call him out by name because there's still a fraction of a hope that this guy would actually show up for a podcast. And I watched him discuss how crazy the left has gone. And it's like, oh my God, this would be the best thing for your party. You could.
If you came on the Jillian Michaels podcast, simmer. The best thing? Oh, come on.
Over people who are moderate, who are purple. You don't have to constantly.
I'm sorry. Is she under the illusion that she has a moderate purple audience?
pander to the crazies on the fringe. So my team reached out and said, hey, you know,
Maybe it's your team. Maybe they just have terrible bedside manner.
Michaels would love to talk to you. She really appreciated what you said on this one podcast. Oh, I don't want to mess up my primary chances. You want to mess up your primary chances by appealing to people who have different opinions than you, but you want to be their president? I just don't at this.
Well, again, I don't know that I think she's talking about Newsom, but I really don't know, and probably. But I honestly think the dance card's pretty full, if that is who she's talking about. And going on Jillian Michaels' podcast isn't going to be helpful. It just isn't. I mean, it basically, I got to tell you, and I deal with this all the time because I have less than 100,000 on YouTube, but I'm spread across, 5 networks. So I've got, 15, 20 million watch hours in spite of my my subscriptions because, I'm adorable on YouTube alone. And so I'm on Facebook and Insta and all of you. You're there in the chat and you're on these things. Say hi. Whatever. There you go. Comment fishing. But I think there's probably a million line. They're not going on any podcast that has less than a million, preferably more than 5. And just because if they have 5 million or 6 million or 10 million, a lot of times only about 2 million of them are legit. Because once they get up to these points, they start padding the numbers because it affects their, it's a business model at that point. So with 663, look, get 3,000 more subscribers. Maybe you'll get a democrat on.
I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to throw down the gauntlet, okay? So there can be no excuses. We started an email. It's Jillian Michaels, KIR pod.
KIR, I can't, keeping it real? That's not what it is it? Please tell me it's not keeping it real. Kicking it ripped.
My name, Jillian Michaels, the letters KIRPOD.
Which stand for?
gmail.com.
I know what Gmail is, but please, is it keeping it real? Because that's fucking dumb.
For the love of God, anybody who is brave enough, throw your hat in the ring. I mean, all of the people on the far right.
Andrea, sick 'em. Let's do this. I'll go on hers. She comes on mine. That's how we keep it real. Keeping it real. Please tell me it's KIR is keeping it real. Keeping it real. Real dumb.
Andrew Wilson looked me in the eye and told me my lifestyle was evil and he thinks I'm going to hell. And we still had a lovely conversation.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't actually believe what he says. And also, isn't he the dude who thinks women shouldn't be able to vote? How do you have a lovely conversation with someone who thinks you should not be able to have a say in your own country? Oh, how there? Okay, let me check the Discord. I gotta, hold on. I think it's, am I on this guy? Hold on. The hell is it? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, yeah. Did they answer immediately? Yeah, it is keeping it real. Son of a bitch. That's hilarious. Come on. Look, I'm sorry. I think I have a 90s cramp. I beg your pardon. Keeping it real. Real. I kept it real too much. I kept it so real in the 90s that I got a 90s cramp. That's what that's why, Caleb, why are you calling me? I got a show. Yes. Okay. Boink. Keeping it real. Okay. So bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay.
I never attack guests. I don't play gotcha.
You're doing it right now. You're attacking non-guests. So I'm sure they're all having safety issues right now. All of them are probably petting their emotional support iguanas and are scared by your green military shirt that you're going to, throw them in a gulag.
I'm trying to expose people.
And you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Differing opinions, but I can't do it if you're too chicken shit to show up.
I can't do this show alone. All this talking is making my head hurt. No one wants to talk to me. They don't think I'm worth it. They just think of me as a musclehead, and they don't agree with me. And they're worried that I'll just pop a stitch and waste their time on a show with only about a third real subscribers. Yeah, let's just run a 40-yard dash. Exactly, chat.
Jillian Michaels, KIR.
Keep it around.
At gmail.com. I double dog dare you.
All right, sent. I don't know. We'll do it. We're dog dared.
All right.
That's it. Damn it. I need guests. I can't just come on here and start making shit up and reading ChatGPT monologues. God damn it. Why don't you just, here's a good idea. Why don't you take ChatGPT and make your own GPT that's believes Marxist philosophy and is an Antifa member. You talk and think just like an Antifa member. I'm meant to debate you, so debate me from their point of view, and then just talk to them, and then create a Jillian Michaels bot, which should be easy and take you about all of 3 hours, and then have them just do a perpetual argument, and then post that on Twitch 24/7. Great idea. Okay. Here we go.
I'm going to have a little...
Sorry, that was the top. It went back to the top. All right, I'm almost out of time. All right, yes, I am out of time. All right, I got to go because I have a show tonight at Flappers for all of our lovely Patreon folks. And I got to go clean myself up because I have not showered since last night. And I was very salty after the show. So I'm going to go clean myself up for the show because I would not do that to a live audience. Thank God this is not smell-o-vision. Actually, I smell fine. I'm okay. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Got to run. Much love. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And is this playing? Stop playing that one. Play this one, I think. And then we turn this guy up. All right. I'm out. Hit the like, share the show, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Houseparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. If you're a Patreon or a member on the YouTube channel, we'll see you at the show tonight. Keeping it real. Sorry, here comes the